Do you love the color story of this second 35 pan palette by Jaclyn Hill, but you can't stomach buying it? I think I have a dupe. If you want to see the shadows, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène, and yes, I want to talk Jaclyn Hill and Morphe. I want to talk about the new palette, and I want to talk about why I will not be getting it and why I think this is a substitute for it. The Jaclyn Hill palette, as we all know, or many of us know, is 35 pans, and this Certifeye palette is 18 pans. So not quite the same number, obviously, but pretty close. It's over half of the palette that Jaclyn Hill just put out. And a lot of her palette is many neutral colors. This is, I would say, is a condensed version of the Jaclyn Hill palette and has been out for quite a while. It is the Certifeye Affinity palette. And if you take a look at this palette compared to the Jaclyn Hill palette, which I will put right here, I think you will agree that the color story is eerily similar. And this one's been out for a while. So what I thought I would do is I thought I would swatch this one for you so that you can compare these swatches to the swatches that have already been shown online for the Jaclyn Hill palette. Now, I'm not poo-pooing Jaclyn Hill or Morphe here. I'm just offering a substitute or a different product that may give you the color story that is attracting you to the other palette if you don't particularly want to purchase the other palette. That's all I'm doing. So let's get into swatching. I think I'm going to do one set of swatches per row going all the way down, and the progression of colors is also very similar to the progression of colors in the Jaclyn Hill palette, the second edition. I am extremely excited by the overlap because I think I would be one person to be susceptible to want the other palette, but given I have this Certifeye palette in my collection, I feel like I kind of have the Jaclyn Hill palette already. So let's get into swatching. So I'm going to do this first row, 1, 2, 3, and let's see what they look like. That is a bright yellow. So here we go. And if you are not familiar with this channel all that much, I can tell you that this palette came to me courtesy of Steph Lines here on YouTube. And I will put the video where I received this palette. I'll put it right there for you. And I was so delighted to see this palette. I have wanted this palette for a while, and for her to send it to me was absolutely fantastic. Just evening out that swatch here. So that is one pass. That is awesome. The saturation on this palette is fantastic. I always go a second round, but I really don't feel like I need to. This is great. This yellow is just beautiful. Okay, so here's the second pass. Went a little wide on that one. Look at this yellow. For a matte yellow to look that yellow, that is fantastic. And the fingers, which I always do. There we go. Okay, second row. I didn't even say the names, I'm so excited. So the first row was, the white was Munaza, the first yellow was Annie, and the third yellow was Salma. The next round we have Sonia, Shireen, and Sophia. This is the row right here. Okay, so Sonia, Shireen, and Sophia. Sonia is a little bit more problematic. Shireen, and Sophia. Oh, that one's quite pretty. There we go. Let's do a second pass on those. And I'm just rubbing back and forth on the pan, nothing fancy. Okay, so here we go. Sonia again. I think I can even out that matte now reasonably well. Oh yeah, it's quite a neon orange. And then we've got Shireen. Ah, it's beautiful. And Sophia. Again, beautiful, beautiful colors. So far I had only swatched one out of these because this is very, very new to my collection. So you and I are discovering it just together today. All right, so we have the first 2 rows done. And so far, gosh, I'm loving it. Let's go into the reds. The reds are beautiful, and we have Onika. I don't know if it's Anam or Anam. Let's say Anam. And Miriam. I have to research what the meaning of the names is. All right, here we go. So we have Onika. Ha 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 ha. Love the intensity of the colors. Anam. And we have Miriam. Very, very pretty. And that's the first go. So I think it's just going to look so much more intense on the second go. I'm just putting my fingers in it another time here. A second time, I should say. Here we go. Oh boy, did that build up nicely. And this next one is Anam. So it was Onika, Anam, and Miriam. So now they're really showing their difference on the second go. So those are the first 3 rows, and I think I'm going to switch arms here for you. Just going to show you the fingers one last time. Look at how much pigment is left on my fingers. There is a reason Certifeye has such a good reputation. I am fully appreciating it at this point. I saw swatches before. I saw the use of the palettes from Certifeye, which is why I knew I wanted one, at least one. And as I'm playing with them, I'm more and more convinced of the fact that this was a really good idea to get this palette. So now the next row that we're doing, we're getting into the purples, which I have to admit I'm really into. So we're going to do the hot pink first, which is Riz. And then we've got Zara and Aisha, the only brown in the palette. So here we go. It's almost like a brownie plum. Okay. So we have hot pink, which is Riz. That is very hot pink. And then we've got Zara. And Aisha. I think it's kind of almost a raisin color, and one of the only really neutral colors in this palette. And here are the fingers, and I'm going to go a second time. Those pinks are really, really nice. Pink and kind of a fuchsia purple. Beautiful. And Aisha, that kind of raisin color is a little bit gritty, but that's not unusual for that kind of a color. So again, we've got Riz. Zara. Oh yeah, that builds up nicely. Holy cow. And Aisha. There we go. That second pass looks good. It's a little bit close to the other swatch, but oh well. Really nice. And the fingers one more time. Okay, we're going to move on to the next row. And the next row we get deeper into this kind of same color scheme. So now we're getting into this row right here. And we have Alia, Shazia, and Farah. Oh yeah, really getting into purples. This is so, so, so nice. Okay. So we have, first off, Alia. That is a nice, rich color. And then we've got Shazia. This is Pink Look Heaven. And we have Farah. That's the only patchy one of the bunch. So we are going to swatch them all as usual. I think this one will build up nicely. Mattes sometimes, they need building up, and that doesn't matter which brand, they just sometimes need building up. And so sometimes with mattes, a swatch is not the best indication of how it's going to perform on the eyelid. All right, so here we go one more time. We've got Alia. Oh, look at that. That built up so easily. And then Shazia, or Shazia, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a nice color. And Farah. Let's see how Farah does. Let's see how it fares. How do you fare, Farah? Okay, much better than the first swatch. So there are the 2 of 3 bottom rows. I'm going to bring my sleeve up a little bit more so we've got room. And here are the fingers as usual. I'm like a kid in a candy store. These colors are so nice. Oh. I mentioned to a few people on Twitter and YouTube yesterday that, hey, I think I've got a dupe, and when folks were looking up this Certifeye palette, I was getting the answer back of, oh my God, you're right. So I think that a number of folks watching this video will agree with me that it's pretty darn close. All right, so the last row is, I should show you the fingers, Henna, Sana, and Lubna. So we have Henna. That's a nice purple. Look at that. It's got some luster to it. Henna, Sana, and Lubna, or Lubna, not sure. And this is more of a pastel purple, so I'm not surprised that that doesn't show up a huge amount on the first pass. And here are the fingers. Look at that color. Beautiful. It's like purple, but it's got a luminosity to it. Oh. Yeah, it's got a bit of a white base, it looks like. Actually, all 3 of them on the bottom look like they have a white base to them. I'm no expert, but it looks like it. Okay, so last pass for these last 3. So we've got Henna, and then we have Sana, and Lubna, or Lubna. Oh yeah, I love this pastel lilac color. And let me just show you the fingers on that last pass. Look at this color. Henna is gorgeous. It's so beautiful. I can't stop looking at it. I'm big into purples. Purples and greens, I really love those colors. And actually, I love most colors, but purples and greens I'm pretty into. Okay, so let's take a look at the whole shebang, all of it together. I'm going to put the first 3 rows up on top here. And then I'm going to put the second set of rows right here for you so that you can see the whole set of swatches for this palette. I'm really impressed with how they swatched, and I cannot wait to see how these are going to look on the eyes. These are so, so beautiful. And I'm impressed with the way this white shows up. It looks like it has a little bit of a cream to it. It's not a pure white, but definitely would look good, I think, on the brow bone. But it's quite white. It's just got a little bit of a tinge of beige in it, which I don't think is a bad thing. And I'm really impressed with how neon some of these are. And some of them are, I mean, the color on this one, the color on this one, the color on this one, the intensity, the saturation of the colors is so, so good. And this henna, I'm just so impressed with it. And this one is also, it's just so beautiful. This Aaliyah color is just so, so nice. Yeah. That is it. Thank you so much for indulging my swatch fest. I appreciate it very much. I do hope that you found the swatches useful in trying to figure out whether or not you think this palette may be a reasonable partial dupe to the Jaclyn Hill palette, at least the really interesting shadows in that palette. Let me know what you think as far as its status as a dupe in the comments. I'd love to hear. I'd also love to hear if you want to see any looks with this palette compared to some of the looks that you may have seen with the Jaclyn Hill palette. And yeah, let me know what you think. I always look forward to hearing what your thoughts are in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I do look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.